Little Nightmares serves a stew of puzzle-based gameplay, thick atmosphere, and underlying social commentary. But is it enough for players to finish their plate? Find out if you should care. Hi, I am Bademeister and this is Should I Care About Little Nightmares. Not a full review, not a first impression either, just enough to give you enough information to know if this game is for you or not. To avoid spoilers, all game footage shown takes place in the first 2 hours of the game. So here we go. While I do enjoy these kind of games, in some part of my mind I have to ask myself what the fuck is wrong with Scandinavian developers, as Little Nightmares takes its place in line with games like Inside or Limbo as a horribly depressing and bleak experience. You take control of this yellow-caped kid, girl, gnome thing called Six and have to make your way through one creepy-ass game filled with all kinds of nightmare fuel. You have to do a lot of platforming, puzzle solving, running away and hiding while trying to avoid to get eaten by any of the grotesque characters who stand in your way. And here we are at the crux of things, as everything in Little Nightmares boils down to hunger. While I won't spoil too much, pretty much every narrative thread in this game boils down to the premise eat or be eaten. And thankfully this image isn't just painted for the sake of cheap scares or a certain level of grotesque imagery, but there's some smart commentary about society in there underneath it all. Everything is told in an indirect enough manner that makes the player think about the implied context, thoughts that might even stick around in your head for longer than the 4 to 6 hour experience of the title. While games like Limbo and Inside work with thick atmosphere as well, a considerable part of the tension, at least for me, comes from the cruel and merciless ways your characters can die, since it showcases more than anything the direness of the situation. This is different for Little Nightmares, as death animations leave enough to the imagination so that the overall aesthetics and the atmosphere of the game do far worse to your mind than any explicit animation ever could. Fun times, right? As for the gameplay, as already mentioned, you will do a lot of puzzling, trying to figure out how to get from point A to B. The solution for the problem at hand most of the time is presented clearly and allows for just the right amount of challenge without holding up the flow. In some specific cases, however, the game boils down to a frustrating circle of trial and error which results in repeated player death. Especially since it's coupled with long loading times on PS4, as well as respawn points which are often poorly set and have you replaying up to 10 minutes of gameplay prior to your death. But for the most part, the game moves along at a steady pace, never lingering too long on one set piece, and most of the tension comes from the oppressing atmosphere and not from the game's difficulty. That being said, the controls can be a bit sluggish at times, but nothing the player can't get used to. So if you are into fucked up shit like me and enjoy Limbo or Inside, this is definitely for you. If you're looking for a smart little platformer with stealth sections and the occasional physics puzzle, Little Nightmares could also be for you, however make sure you can stomach the setting and are somewhat resistant to frustration. If you enjoyed this video, hey, maybe leave a like or even subscribe for more content like this. My name has been Bademeister and this is why you should care about Little Nightmares.